I wish I could share with you guys how interesting my camera setup is right now, but that's not what the video is about. This video is going to be my updated foundation routine. It was requested that I show the process of applying my foundation, how I get a flawless complexion, so I'm going to do that. If you'd like to see that video, please keep watching. So first, I just want to talk a little bit about the products that I use. I tend to like products that are full coverage. As you can see, I have discoloration in my face, so I like things that are more full coverage. And I'm gonna try to have to stop looking at the viewfinder. I'm so sorry if that annoys you guys. It's like a habit when you first get a viewfinder. You just wanna look at yourself. So I apologize for that. So pretty much I used to use a concealer. Hold on, I gotta turn on the air. Oh my God. I tend to go for fuller coverage products. I used to use a concealer and a foundation, but the concealer itself is 30 and the foundation is 45 to 48. So I figured I'm just gonna double up coverage in the areas where I need it. So the two foundations that I'm using currently are the Nars All Day Luminous foundation, which has a fuller coverage and it's more of a matte coverage or a matte formula. And this is in shade Tahoe. And the Nars Sheer Glow, and this is in Syracuse. Nars has my favorite complexion products as far as foundation. I just feel like they are high quality, they look really pretty on the skin, and they have a wide variety of shades, though they do tend to lean more on the yellow side. But since I have yellow undertones, that works for me. I know also, like, I worked at Sephora, and anytime you go in Sephora and you ask to be matched, they're gonna find you primers to use. But I don't really find that any primer works for me. So I have brought down two primers that I like. One is the Makeup Forever Step 1 Skin Equalizer, and this one is the mattifying one. And then I also have the Smashbox Photo Finish Pore Minimizing Primer, which I apply more where I have laugh lines or the line in my forehead. But I don't tend to prime day to day just because I am so oily. And when it's really hot outside, my foundation is gonna slide regardless, but I will use it today just for demonstration purposes. These two brushes that I use, and I'm sorry they look a mess, but you guys know I keep it real. I use this brush for my foundation. This is the Sephora Pro Airbrush Blush brush, number 54. This is meant for blush application, but I like that when it's not dirty. It's really easy to maneuver on your face. It's easy to blend in, and I like it. The only thing is that because it is not very densely packed, it can leave streaks. So for that, I like to go in with my Sephora Pro Flawless Bronzer brush number 46. So as you can see, I don't tend to use brushes as they are meant for, but you can use any kind of brush to apply your foundation. So I'll apply it with this, blend it with this, then I'll go back in and press it into my skin with this brush that's more densely packed and a little fuller, just to make sure that it's nicely blended in. So that's pretty much everything I use. When I am using a concealer, I will use Makeup Forever Full Cover number 12, which I just apply on the spots on my face. So now I'm gonna show you how I actually apply my foundation. Now before I apply my foundation, I always do my brows just because I feel it's a little easier. And I start with my Nars Sheer Glow. I pump 2 on the back of my hand, 2 pumps. Then I take my blush brush and I start on my cheeks. On my cheeks and my chin. I basically start where I need the most coverage. And I just start blending the foundation in. Oh crap, I told you guys I was gonna use primer, but I forgot. Now, the reason why I have 2 colors of foundations is because Syracuse is like my winter shade. I mean, it's 70 degrees right now in winter, but technically that's the shade I use in winter. And then Tahoe is my summer shade. But since I had some of my summer shade left over, I decided to just use it up. And the Sheer Glow actually has a nice coverage. I wouldn't say that it's a sheer formula. I would say it has a sheer glow. So a lot of people think that it's a more sheer formulation, but I think that refers more to making your skin look a little luminous. And that's the one thing, this brush is not good at going into the corners and tight spaces of your face. So I'm just gonna finish using up Syracuse. And I could go over my lids because my lids tend to be a little more red. Okay, so that's pretty decent coverage on its own, and once again, that's with the Sheer Glow in the color Syracuse. Now, because I do have dark spots on my face, I like to add a little more color to my face, and also this foundation, it has better coverage as well. I'm gonna apply this mainly to my cheek areas and my chin. Once again, focusing it on where I tend to have darkness. Let's see. So pretty much what I do is I apply one coat of foundation, and then I build it up in places where I need it. Pretty much just areas where I have dark spots, so that would be mainly my cheek and my chin. Then I just put any extra along my jawline. I don't tend to take my foundation all the way down my neck just because I hate getting foundation on like my clothes. So then I go back through with this brush and I just kind of press everything into my skin. And this is just gonna make sure you don't have any streaks, because this brush does tend to give you streaks. And I'm just pressing. That is basically how I do my full coverage foundation. I could do even more coverage if I were to use a concealer, but I find that it makes it feel heavy, and especially now when it's hot outside, this is just my preferred method. So after I have this much of my complexion done, even on a normal day today, if I'm not gonna do a full face of like eyeshadow or anything, I'll usually go through with bronzer just to kind of warm up my face so that I look a little darker, because I tend to like to look a little tan. But this is the routine that I use when I want to get a flawless complexion. It's basically mixing two foundations, which I don't technically like because I think you shouldn't have to mix two foundations, but I only do so because I have this product left over. So I hope this video has helped anybody. If you want to know how to cover scars, hyperpigmentation, if you want to know products that are good for oily skin. I know I forgot to use my primers in this video, but these are two that I really like. I have tried the Smashbox oil-free primer for oily skin. That doesn't work for me. This one is very mattifying though, so I only use it on like my cheeks and my forehead and my nose, because if I use it all over my whole face, I'll feel very tight. And this one, like I said, I just use the areas where I tend to have a little creasing, like my laugh lines, my forehead, and things like that. But my foundation routine is pretty simple, I think. I don't do a whole lot, but it's basically all about layering products to get the desired coverage that you want. So if you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them down below and I will get back to you. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.